Hey everyone, my name is Anika Nilles. I play drums and I want to introduce you to my setup. I'm using Tama drums, especially the star drum. And in here you see a beautiful Bubinga star drum set. I'm mainly using 3 snare drums, and in here on the side I have a lower tuned snare, which is the SLPG maple snare. And as my main snare I'm using a Tama Starphonic, which is aluminium. On the right side I'm using also a deep tuned snare, which has a low tuning, and this is the big black steel snare. My heads are mainly coated heads, so in here I have G2 on the toms and also Evans Genera HD snare heads. And for the black steel snare I'm using Onyx, so it's completely a black snare, so to speak. As my cymbals, I'm a minor artist, so I play minor cymbals, and I'm using mainly the Bison series. And I prefer, in general, a dry tuning and also a dry cymbal sound. So this is why I have a dry China cymbal in here, which is 20-inch extra dry. I have a vintage pure light ride, which is also really dry. And here I have a 20-inch extra dry crash, which is my favorite cymbal at all. And also a dry hi-hat, which is the Benny Grab sand head in 16-inch. And I also have some more brilliant cymbals, which is in here, for example, 18-inch extra thin hammered crash, and in here a 22-inch vintage crash, also Bison series. And I love to use this stack in here, which is a trash, I think it's a trash splash, and a regular traditional splash on top, 10-inch and 8-inch. Wrong, 10-inch and 6-inch. Probably I can introduce you also to my electronics. So for running the playback tracks, I'm using Ableton Live, where I have a click track and a playback track separately. And with this tool here, this is a MIDI controller launch control pad. I just can control the volume of the click and the playback separately. I also programmed stop, play in here. And I can mute the track, I can mute the click separately, and I also can change the tempo in here. So this is connected to Ableton Live with MIDI control. Underneath them I have an interface. I choose for that the Focusrite, but mainly you can use everything. But for traveling I wanted to have a small one, so I'm using the Focusrite Scarlett. 2 channels, 2 line-ins, and that's it mainly. And for my in-ear sound, and to also split the channels a bit more, I use this small mixing desk where I have 2 microphones, one in here as an overhead, one is in the kick. And this is my in-ear sound. I mix it by myself, so I'm separate to the front of house sound. And also I put in my playback track in here, so I can also mix the volume between my drum set and the playback track by myself. So this is my traveling setup and also my main drum set setup. On the side snare here I'm using a kind of a jingle. It's really big jingles. So it's just a beautiful sound effect I love to have on the side snare. You just can hear it on the top a little bit, nice highs and beautiful jingle sound when I just hit the snare. I developed this kind of setup while practicing, while figuring out new stuff. I record myself a lot when I am at home and practice and try new things. And I realized at some point that especially this snare on the right side sounds really nice when you included drum fills. So I recorded that and I thought, that's different. That sounds really interesting. And also the tuning is really low. It's more fitting to the floor tom as to the other snares, because I'm using this snare mainly included in fills. So, and this side snare on the left is also low tuned, but I'm using that more as a regular snare. So these snares are my main function snares for grooves, and this is more a snare which I include in fills. So that's the reason why I have 3 snares. So the tom sizes are 12, 10 and 16 inch, and the kick is 20 by 16 inch. I'm using the Iron Cobra here today. At home I'm using the Dinah pedal. In here I'm using the ProMark 7A. That's the model I'm using the most. And there are 2 options, the forward and the rebound, and I'm using actually both. It depends on my daily feel. So today I have the forward stick. Thank you guys for watching the gear show. Again, my name is Anika Nilles, and that's it.